All right, so this quick video is to show everybody how you can use TradingView. TradingView is a way that you can read charts and graphs on different investments from stocks to crypto. Today we'll be using it for the purpose of crypto. So I have my guest Shad Cakes on today, and he's going to be basically just showing you how a quick tutorial on how you can use TradingView.
Okay.
I'm gonna let you take it away, Shad.
Yeah. So, TradingView, this is the way that I was trained to use it with some of the free tools that are available. When you have a subscription, you have access to more tools and resources. They allow you several that you can utilize, and a lot are beneficial. For me, I use it when trying to see the momentum of what the price is doing. Right now, we have Ethereum pulled up on the screen here. You can see the candlestick chart. A lot of times you see it in the form of a line graph. So you can use this to change how you view the information. With a line graph, this is limited. You just see waves. I like to keep it on the candlesticks. I feel like there's more data that's available to you when you're looking at this. Right now, we're looking at Ethereum. And in this first section, you can kind of see these squares. They represent different things. When they're green, that's a positive trend. If we toggle back to the line graph, you can see that was an upwards trend here. If we go back to the candles, red is you're getting more information just on the colors. It's in which direction that the market may be turning. So when you're looking at these blocks, it depends on whether it's green or red. But for example, you can see, we'll use this one. The line here is called a wick, like a candle wick, right? Because they kind of look like candles. You can see where the price opened is identified by the top line on the candlestick. This long wick is how low the price may have gotten, right? And then the bottom that secures the block is where the close. So you have more information in this one piece of data as opposed to looking at a line graph, right?
Mhm.
You have more intimate, detailed look at what the price of the stock or cryptocurrency did for the day. It opened at this point, got its low as this point, and then closed right here for the day.
Okay.
Now, there's several other features that I use when analyzing charts. I use the MACD. This is the moving average convergence and divergence graph. What this does, it takes, and my settings, you can change the settings of how you want the data to move. But basically what this line or this graph is designed to do is to show you a 8-day moving average and a 21-day. And what this can potentially do for you is show you how over a 21-day period that the price was moving, and it's represented in the orange wavelength that you see. The 8-day is represented by the blue. The benefit to this is the orange line shows you a 21-day slow moving average, but the 8-day, which is 7 days, is 1 week plus 1 day, is moving quicker. So that kind of gives you kind of a preview, so to speak, or an advantage to see where there's a buying opportunity. Anytime this this the blue line crosses an orange line, this may be a potential buy signal if it's moving in an upwards direction, because this line is generating faster than the 21-day. So you have a weak kind of moving average. They start to intersect. So this lets you know there's a potential buying opportunity here because it's just crossing the line. You really want to look at it in the scheme of if you're looking at it like a clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, right? You really want to see something in the realm between 12 and 1, or if it's right at noontime, that's a strong buy signal for you. But you can see as it crosses this line, there's a green, which we haven't really talked about. The red and the green represented in this MACD chart is indicators for buying strength that's moving in and selling strength. But you could see as this line intersect, it led to a green day. And you can also see the buying pressure that started to move in, that got higher and higher, right? And that's indicated on the chart for Ethereum. So let's kind of go to something a little bit more current. Yes, maybe a day or two ago, I had friends or colleagues, they were like, oh, Ethereum's down. Well, you could have anticipated this if you're reading the charts. So when you're looking at the MACD, this green and red, these bars is called a histogram. The red day came in, they were like, oh, it's down. Everybody that I spoke to, because they're tied psychologically to their emotion, they're not looking at data, they're just looking at a price start to dip. You can see the very next day, the buying pressure grew even more. And then on the convergence divergence between the blue and the orange is pointed towards 5 o'clock. I knew that it had further to go, and that's exactly what it did. And you can see now today that red, dark red is going to a light red, which means that the price might be going back up, or there are more buyers that's starting to move into this space, and you can see it starting to form a green wick here. So you can kind of predict what could happen based on a lot of this information just between the regular chart and a candlestick and the MACD. If we move down to this next area, this is your relative strength index. This is based on a scale typically between 0, which would be down here, to 100. What the relative strength index does for you is show you the best way to put this is like, it's not to, nothing's for sure, but it can indicate whether a stock or cryptocurrency is oversold or overbought. Typically, those markers are at 70% or 30%. And that's what this purple space is, right? So the way I was trained on this is, you know, if you're, let's get this to a full screen. If you're looking at the RSI, you can see here we're right at 70. It may be overbought in this range. And slowly but surely, you can see that the price went down. And if we go back to the chart and you line it up, oops, you line it up, where were we? I don't even know where we were. Might have been right here. So wait, let me see. All right, we'll just use this as an example. It's touching the 70-point mark, and then it went down. You can see there was a little bit of dip in the price. The convergence divergence intersected in this same kind of space, but this is like, the closer it is to the top might indicate that the price of the crypto is overbought, or you know, the crypto itself is overbought, or the stock. The lower it is may mean that it's oversold, and you can see right now that is starting to get to that 30 range, and you're seeing that the sell pressure is starting to weaken, meaning the buy pressure is starting to come up. If this were to intersect with the orange and the blue with the convergence divergence, that may be a buying opportunity because buying pressure is starting to move in, which will lead to some green candles here, right? So you have these two, the MACD and the RSI, they're basically doing the same thing, but the calculations and the algorithm provides different data. You want confirmations on both of these before making a decision and to lead you to the end result of what your strategy is on a buy or sell. And then the stochastic cross is very similar to the MACD, but it's more, you can see how smooth the line is here, how the blue line is down here. If we are looking at the stochastic, this just, it's more of a, it's a moving average of a moving average. So it's like making a copy of a copy, or it's like using a magnifying glass. You're looking at something, that object has not changed, but you see more detail with it, right? So whether it's a fly under a microscope, looking at it from a distance, you might be seeing it like this, but if you zoom in, this may become more clearly defined for you. So you want to take that same strategy from the MACD, apply it to the stochastic. You can see here, this is above the moving average, the slow moving average in orange, right? It's above, it tapped it, and then it spiked, right? You can kind of see here that the RSI is moving in a positive direction. You can see that is all in sync with a green candle, right? So I use these three strategies when looking at crypto. Like I said, we're looking at Ethereum right now. These are the methods that I was trained in order to be more successful or knowledgeable about the investments you choose to make.
Mm-hmm. So if somebody has a new account, like what should we set up? What's the first things that we should do to set it up? Like once we get our membership or sign up or whatever, how should we go ahead and set up our account?
So these are the three basic tools that I use. You can use a variety of what's available to you in the free version. I believe they cap you at 3 different charts on the screen at once. I think with the full version you get unlimited, but it's just as simple as signing up for an email address and creating a password, and you can look at what's happening on the charts. Once you set it up, I save this as my main template. So once I put all these in, I have it set up to main. So no matter what I do, if I close this out, and then let's take Bitcoin, and you can see Ethereum, Bitcoin look very similar, right? Bitcoin is the grandfather or the OG, the original OG in this space. So that anything that's in this crypto space is gonna typically follow its same trend. Those charts look so close to each other. Sometimes you can use another crypto that's the leader in the market to anticipate what other cryptocurrencies are going to do. But yeah, so I've closed out some things, but once I set up my template, I go back to templates, I go back to main, it puts all my data back the way I wanted it. So these are free. I'm using a free version. I'm able to get what I need from just the free version, what TradingView has to offer. But it's easy as setting up an email address. The first thing you should do is go to their account, create an account with a password, set up your watch list or your favorites, so you have quick access to the things that you're invested in on a daily basis, and try to make some money.
I got you. So far as like I might have missed this, but as far as the MACD and the RSI and the stat, right?
The stochastic, yeah.
Yes, stochastic. So is that already like a pre-built template? Do we just go by the default setting?
So what you'll do is you go to indicators up here at the top, and then you can search for all type of resources to use to your advantage when looking at these charts. So you can type in RSI, your relative strength index, type this in, and it'll throw it onto the chart. And you can see here, I've got a limit of 3. All right, I'm trying to add another RSI, even though I've got one. It's just maxing me at the 3 in the free version. So they do give you a 30-day trial if you want the full version, where you can have up to 25 different charts on one screen. But I don't need that to get the information that I'm looking for when making investments.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you just go to indicator, type in kind of, if you go to stochastic, see there's several versions. Some are very complex, some are pretty simple. These are simple for me to understand. I hope that I've explained it to where someone can grasp hold of it and then start to use it to their advantage.
Gotcha. Okay. Trying to think if there's any more questions I wanted to ask. It's pretty straightforward. With the candlesticks, I just know a lot of people, want to read candlesticks. And you went over that already, but could you give I guess what's a good way for somebody that's, to read candlesticks, the quickest way that they can learn how to read them without having to do a lot of research on it or getting too technical about it?
Yeah, and I get it because I don't know how electricity works. I just know how to flip a light switch when I walk into a room, right? So I want people, it looks complicated. It's not. And then you've got people in the business or in the investing industry that try to make it look harder than what it is, because they don't want the average person to know that their job is not really needed as an advisor or a broker. Not to say they don't have tools and resources that are beneficial, but you could do a lot of this stuff on your own. So let's take a look at a candle chart in just more detail. Here is where the price opened. When you look at it, it's a square. It's an opening and a closing, because it's up, right? When you're looking at this wick, this is how high it got for the day. That's where it wicked. That's how high it did get, but it closed up here. It opened up here or down here, closed up here, right? Same thing here, open here, close here. These wicks on the top and the bottom of the candlesticks are how high and low it got for the day.
Okay.
And it's just that simple. The exact opposite is true when it's in red. It opened at the top, closed at the bottom. That little wick, I hate this is putting this cursor on there, but that's how low it got. But then it rose and closed here. So that's how easy reading a candlestick is giving you information. It opened up here at as low as this for the day, closed up here. Exact opposite when you're looking at green candles.
So just reading the candlestick alone is not good enough to decide when to buy or when to sell, right?
No.
Okay.
So typically, you want to look at candles in a series of 3. So let's use this for an example. Let me just see if I can make this bigger. All right. So you've got where the price opened, went up here, closed right here. And you can see these two things are right next to each other. It opened right here from the day it closed up here from being low here the previous day. But it opened, got as low as this point, closed up here. And you can see the candle itself is starting to shrink, right? You have a 3-day run up, and now the candle is starting to lose some of its momentum. And then this is a consolidation period. The next 3 candles, it's not really doing much with the price. It's going sideways. Now you see that you have to bring more information back to the picture. Okay, well, it went sideways for a couple of days. What is it going to do next? Well, look, let's look at here. Here you go. The blue line is crossing right around 4 o'clock. So that's anticipating a downwards trend. Looking at the relative strength, it's going in a downwards direction, right? So we've got 2 things confirmed here. Now, in the same space, this had took a dip, right? It went in a downwards, it crossed back here, and then it started pointing towards 5 o'clock. So now we got 2 days of red. Before this data on this side of the screen existed, it was just this. It's still moving sideways. And now you have a bigger candle than this previous one. This is a little longer. Okay, what is it going to do tomorrow? This it's going even, the gap is widening between this yellow line and the blue line. So that's giving you some downward, trend. Now with the relative strength, it's starting to touch right at 30-ish or so. And then this line is crossing right here. So how many confirmations can we see on screen at one time that's going to let us make a buying decision or a selling decision? The relative, not the relative strength, the buying pressure, the selling pressure is starting to move in. We had 3 days of green, or we had several days of green up here, but you can see that the red went from dark red to light to green, light green, red, bigger red. So you've got to consider all the information that's on the screen. The candles by themselves alone, it's not going to give you enough information, but this led to a even longer candle, right? Now, it all depends on what your strategy is. Are you making trades on a daily basis? Are you making trades for a long-term outlook? Are you making trades by the minute? You can change this. So we've been on the daily view. You can change this to a week. See, it's a little tighter. You could change it to a month. So giving your perspective on how deeply you're looking into it to make a decision on when you want to get in and out may determine what you want to do long term or short term. Excuse me. Now, I'm a long-term investor. I don't day trade because I don't have the time or the temperament to do it. So I like to get into projects or stocks when I can put my money there. For the most part, I'll check it on a daily basis, but I don't have to hover over it based on what the company has on their books, some of the projects that they're working on, partnerships, in addition to the charts. You want to consider the fundamentals just as much as you want to consider the technicals in the chart. Fundamentals meaning, what did they do the last quarter? What are they going to do the next quarter with products to market, or what new mergers or partnerships are they participating in? Like these are things that are not recorded on a graph. Technicals, when you hear the phrase technical, that's referring to the charts. Fundamentals are what's on paper in contracts. So this is a monthly view of Bitcoin. And see, here's the whole thing, guys. Bitcoin has been around since 2011 or 12. And my whole philosophy has been with crypto, because I was around back then. I remember when it was $500. Coworkers and colleagues said it was a scam. Nobody wanted to touch it. But it took a long time before it really popped. Now we're talking about a 5 to 6 year period before it had its first run up. So this is what I'll do, because I like to use simple things like Microsoft Paint. So I'm going to print the screen. We're looking at a monthly view. Each candle represents 1 month. So I changed it from a day view to 1 month up here. So This is November, December, 17, January, February, right? So if we go to MS Paint, I like to use simplicity, guys. It doesn't have to be overly complicated. So I'll throw a chart in Microsoft Paint, and then what I'll do is, like I said, I'm long term, so I'll take a chart and break it down. So we can see we had a channel and a support level that Bitcoin was trading in over these past few years, right? From 2017, and everybody knew where they were in that point in time in their lives, what you were doing in 17. And then 2020, 2021 rolls around. Here is a spike. You can see where the price is starting to set levels of support. So in my mind, like, I'm not looking for Bitcoin. I'm just using this as an example. I'm not invested in Bitcoin. You can see the price may bounce in this square, right? It may stay here for some time until it crosses this threshold, and then it might start bouncing this direction, right? But you have an opportunity. I'm gonna make it a little cleaner. If it's bouncing in this direction, whatever it does, and it sets new highs, which is kind of exactly what it did back here, then that means when it's down on days like today, you have a, let's use green because that's good. Green is good. You have a buying opportunity in this price that is trading. It's not that it will lower and start bouncing around in this channel or go back down to where it used to be. But when I'm making decisions on long-term investments, I don't really care what it does on a daily basis as long as it's my strategy is in line with what I saw happening. I'm not, for people who are panicking that Bitcoin had this plunge, they were never in it in this range or back here. They probably jumped in somewhere near the top. And this is where people lose, because when it comes to money, you get emotionally and psychologically attached to where a slight drop in the price, that's normal. It's supposed to drop. Price volatility is to be expected with any kind of investments. There are risks, but you don't have to panic when you can see things coming. If you're a captain of a ship and the waves are not just tranquil and peaceful, storm rolls in, based on how well you are managing a ship or how long you've been doing it, you don't really care as much as doing the things that you need to do to make sure you come out on the other side. Doesn't matter what the waves and currents are doing, right? Because you're experienced. You've seen things before. Some people jump into these coins for the first time or any kind of investment with the illusion and fantasy that they're going to get rich quick overnight, and that's not the case. It takes time. You get rich quick slowly, right? It takes time. Nothing unless you play the lottery and hit, but even then, the life you've lived up until that age that you chose to buy that one ticket, there was things that you had to experience that you went through that led to that point. It didn't happen overnight, right? Regardless of how it comes across. So I don't know. My analogies might be a little off, but I hope I'm making sense.
Right.
So that's what I do. I like to use simple things. I'll put it in Microsoft Paint and then create a strategy of when I like to get in or when I did get in, when I want to get out, what I see it's going to do, what it's not going to do. This is several years, man.
But yeah, that's all we want to do, to show just a basic way to use TradingView. Like you're saying, it's pretty much just stay simple. Try to make everything as simple as possible. Don't try to over complex things. At the end of the day, we're all trying to make money, so try to make it as simple as possible. Always research. Just don't take what we say. Go and research other things too, but just don't try to get too much information where it stops you from actually going out and investing, where you're stuck just looking at charts and not even investing. So make it as simple as possible, but take the action of going out and getting to the money. That's just basically it.
Mm-hmm.
You got anything else, cuz? Any more suggestions or tips or anything else?
Yeah, what I would say is crypto is a financial system that is a missing piece to when the internet was created. Back in the early 2000s, late 90s, the internet was missing. The network existed, but the blockchain and crypto having some kind of financial system tied electronically to the internet and the network has been missing. And this game of, printing paper bills that only have value because of what the government and what the economy want to do to keep things moving is almost a necessity. You can't keep printing paper bills, injecting into the market. The thing is, you've got people who buy, you have people who sell, and then you've got people who save. And this benefits the people that save because there's several cryptocurrencies that are out there that when a transaction is made, 2% goes back to the holders for saving. You know what I mean? There's benefits to it. It's more dynamic than just printing a piece of paper with a face on it by the U.S. Department Treasury. I mean, it's more responsible. Let me say that. Let me say it's more needed in the current market because nobody really uses cash for things. Right? You're already familiar with it. You use a credit card, debit card, you swipe it. You don't really have it in your hand. It's just numbers on a computer screen. But crypto is adding structure to that. And what I see is happening is the crypto markets, where it takes you 2 decades to make money off of Apple stock in its infancy. A lot of these coins and cryptocurrencies, it's not going to take you 2 decades to generate life-changing wealth. And that's why I put my money where my mouth is in that space. And it's blessed me to this point to be able to share it with you, bro, because I want everybody to win because there's no money shortages. It's not limited to just the people in the know. And you don't have to be on Wall Street to make money.
Right. Like I said to you before, man, this is basically the time for especially our people to get into this crypto. Like before, when the stock market started, we weren't allowed to get into a space like that. But now it's an opportunity. So, and it's tons of information. So there's no excuse now to take advantage of this. Like just because you don't understand something, just like you say, you don't understand how electricity works, but you know that you can flip the switch and you have lights. So just get into it, dive into it, and change your life, help change your life. Invest in something that's going to help not just you, but the future, your generation, the kids that come after you, your grandkids. What we do today is what's going to affect our family for years to come. So don't be scared about not knowing. It's really not any excuse not to have information. It's out there everywhere. So just get into it. Watch videos, read books, get into it, make moves, start making money.
Yeah. Also, I am not a financial advisor.
Yeah, let us say that.
This is not financial advice. This is strictly for entertainment purposes only.
Yeah, because an investment is a risk. At the end of the day, you will lose, but you will make money too. So don't come at our necks. If you lost, saying that we told you to do this and that, that's just not us. We're not financial advisors, but we have some good information that's worked for us, and we're hoping to work for you guys too.
Yeah, and don't go put any money that you can't afford to lose. Be comfortable in your investments. Start small, dollar cost average in with whatever position you choose to take. Don't go, risking, the money you have for other responsibilities in your livelihood on, this phase, because everybody has that idea that they're gonna just do well automatically. You got to bump your head to learn, because I did.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Definitely took a lot of bumps and bruises, man.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll be doing a lot more videos like this. This is just one, but we'll do basic videos of things in the crypto space, just to educate you more on the simple things. We like to keep it simple, not too technical, but things that's going to help you make money. So just stay tuned to more videos we'll be dropping, especially on stuff like dollar cost average, different things, different terms in this crypto space, just to get you educated and ready to invest.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. So that's all we have for today. Where can they find you at, Shad, on Instagram or social media?
Oh man, I'm going through a rebranding period right now, but
Okay.
if anybody that knows me, like music is my first love, that's my passion. I'll be sharing more about that in detail, but that's where I'm at. I'm on that in that arena over there with the music, but uh,
Okay.
I'll be sure to pass that along to you until we get the rebranding done.
Gotcha. Gotcha. All right. Well, guys, take it easy. Like I always say, God has blessed your hands. Now put your hands to work. All right. Let's go get it.